Hello, 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 hello. Are we live? Is this working? Hi, I'm Kat Miller, and I just got booted off. My system just completely crashed. Hello, hello, hello. I don't know if it's just kicked in again. I don't know what's happening, but welcome if you're just joining me. And if you joined my previous live, my apologies. My system just completely crashed and I disappeared. So I'm back. Hello, I'm Kat Miller, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the difference between high converting and low converting content that most people don't realize. So if you're a coach or an expert or consultant and you really want to use your content to attract new clients, you are in the right place. I was speaking to a lady the other day and she was saying, like I was explaining to her for about maybe 40 minutes about what is really required to get clients. She said, I think what you're saying is that I really need to be doing content. Is that right? And I said, yes. If you want to attract clients online, the way the world is at the moment, content is essential. We just cannot get away with not posting content if we want to. If you're a subject matter expert and you want to use social media and your website and emails and all of those lead generation strategies to get clients, then consistent content creation is an absolute must. And so we can do that in multiple different ways. And in this video, I'm going to unpack what I mean by high converting and low converting and what I mean by content. And also there are many different ways of doing content. There's written, there's spoken, there's live videos, there's pre-recorded videos, there is blog posts. There's a whole different array of choices that you can make when it comes to your content. So I'm going to unpack those as well and show you principles that you can apply across all of your content. So welcome those of you who are on here live. I'd love it if you just pop something in the comments box so that I know that you're there, because otherwise I see people on here live but I don't know who you are. So I really love it, really appreciate it if you could just give me some love and some likes and just a comment in the comments box. I would really appreciate that. And so in order to create content that converts, we need to know how to use our words, how to use our language to link people to our product or service, whether that's a program, an offer, whether that's our coaching services or an online course, whatever it is that we are linking people to. The link, the bridge, is our words and the way that we craft our language. Your word choices, they either widen the gap between you and your ideal client, or they close the gap. So we want to create a content strategy where every single piece of content closes the gap. It doesn't mean you take someone from not knowing you from a bar of soap to trying to sell them your 3K offer. It's not about closing that gap straight away. That's like asking someone you bump into at the library whether they want to marry you, So there's a process, there's a strategy of moving people closer to you. Most people are winging it with their content and they don't have an effective strategy that actually does this from where someone is to where they're actually working with you. And they don't realize that it isn't just about jumping that super quick. A lot of people want the quick way, the easy way, right? The quick fix. But they don't realize that a successful content strategy that follows a formula, but also every single piece of content has principles, and principles that convert, meaning they help someone take that next step towards you. When your words hit the spot that draw in the right clients, I'm talking about drawing people in, pulling people in towards you, as opposed to pushing out your marketing and doing crazy stuff. Like I see crazy stuff. I had 3 people in my DMs today pitching me their product. 3 people, cold, didn't know them from a bar of soap. And it's just crazy because it completely put me off. But when you know how to draw people, attract the right people, you don't have to do those crazy tactics. The right people are drawn towards you and your business can change really fast. People can start consistently wanting to work with you and reaching out to you, so you become the lead magnet. It's not that your ebook is the lead magnet, you become it because you're continuously putting out really valuable content. It seems like magic, but it's actually really simple when you know how to do it. I can't actually see the comments, which is annoying, but please do put in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, just give me a hashtag replay. So the best news is creating high converting content is a skill that anyone can learn, and all you need to do is learn the principles and follow them. So compelling content, it has principles that transform your ability to convert. And what I mean by converting, by my definition that I'm speaking about in this session, it means that your content does what it's intended to do. If you're taking notes, which I recommend you do, grab a pen and a notebook. Conversion means that the content does what's intended to do, meaning people take action on your piece of content. They take the action that you recommend. That doesn't mean buy my stuff. That action could be DM me to have a chat about what I've just talked about. It could be, hey, register for my free event, my free online webinar. It could be, hey, I've created a free resource. Just pop a yes in the comments, in the comments if you want it. So these are all actions where conversion, by this definition of this training, is that people take that next step towards you, the action that you are asking them to take. And then high conversion could be a high percentage of people take you up on that offer, or a high number of people take you up on that. Low conversion means you get very little or no engagement. And by content, I mean everywhere you show up online, like your website copy, your landing page copy, your social media posts, your sales pages, your Facebook ads, your emails. These all have principles, and every type of content benefits from what I'm sharing because they're principles that apply across all the content. Remember that every content piece has a different purpose. So for example, a sales page, a landing page inviting someone to buy something directly, we speak to someone very differently to a social media post, right? A sales page has its own unique structure that it needs to follow. So there are a whole lot of things that a sales page needs to do, which are beyond the scope of this video. And for example, the content on your website also has a whole lot of factors that are needed for someone to take the next step towards you. So think of conversion as the person taking the action you recommend, and I'll give you some examples of those actions in this training. So there are 7 main ingredients that I teach in order to attract clients through your content, and I'm going to talk about 3 of them in this training. I'm going to talk about 3 that are really important to have. I was talking to my friend Gaynor about it the other day, and we were talking about how these 7 ingredients, if you put them in every single post, you are going to increase your likelihood of converting through your content so much, like massively. She was saying she spends 20 hours on her business a week. She's got a toddler. She's currently got him at home. And so she was saying, sometimes I just want to get a post out there that's giving some great value, but it doesn't have as much thinking behind it. So she said, what are the things that that post must have? And then the other ones are like seasoning that she can pepper into the post when she has a little bit more time to create more posts. And so these are the 3 that I recommended. So number 1, the first ingredient is trust. And it sounds super obvious, but I want to unpack what I mean by trust. And really, there are 3 main things that I think are so important that you put in all of your content in order to get trust from people. The first thing is your credibility. So this is, actually there's 3 things in credibility. The first one is your trustworthiness as a person. You know, when you, like, if you think about someone right now that you really trust, think about someone that you trust and think about why you trust them. Why do you trust that person? Like, I'm thinking about a friend of mine right now. Why do I trust her? She is a person of integrity. She is consistent. She does what she says she's going to do. She is very real. She has incredible heart, and that's shown through her actions, not just her words. So you think about trustworthiness in a person. You know, there's someone that could have the most incredible, impressive offer, and their program might look great. But if you don't have this trustworthiness about this person, meaning their methods, they seem a bit dodgy, or they just, I don't really like the way they talk about that person in that way, or the way they position themselves. Like, there's this whole thing about trustworthiness as a person that you've really got to think, am I a trustworthy person? Meaning, am I really living what I'm teaching? Am I walking the talk? And if not, how can I, like, I'll give you an example. You're a coach and you're selling coaching, but you're not getting coaching. How trustworthy are you showing up? How much integrity can you show up with by saying, you need this? This is an essential product to have, if you're not believing in it? All of these things form your integrity, your character, who you are. So that's the first thing that gets people trusting you. The second thing is your offer. It's important that people trust your offer. So you could be the loveliest person in the world, you could have the biggest heart ever, but people don't just pay to work with a nice person. Like, when I went to the doctor recently, I didn't want him to just be nice to me. I wanted him to know what he was doing. I wanted to know that his method, method's the third one, but his offer, like what he was selling to me, I knew that I was going to get a good return on investment for it. That there was certain elements. I mean, there's 7 different elements that I teach that go in offer. For example, it needs to have some type of guarantee. It needs to have some element of curriculum where you clearly lay out the path from point A to point B, for example. So how much can they actually trust your offer? And then the third thing is your method. So your method, let's say you're a health coach and your method is that you teach eating 6 meals a day. Do the people that you want to attract, every single one of them really want to eat 6 meals a day? Like, seriously? Or do they want, I mean, you might be hardcore on keto, but do you really say this is the only way for everybody to eat? How is your method? Is it what people really want, the people that you want to attract? And something that I personally found really valuable as a personal trainer was not siding with these cult things. So, for example, my clients would always say to me, what do you think of CrossFit? What do you think of paleo? What do you think of vegan? What do you think of high protein? Obviously all these controversial fads and trends, I had an opinion on every single one of them. But my opinion was, these are the pros, these are the cons. This is what this diet is good for. This is what this way of exercising is good for. Marathons aren't good for everybody. CrossFit's not good for everybody. So yes, you have to stand for things and stand against things and be strong in your method, but make sure that your method, you so believe in it and you trust it, you trust your method because you have lived it, right? That lived experience, people feel it. For example, if I was teaching Google Analytics and SEO, that's not something that I've really lived. I have lived content creation. I've lived presenting. This is how I've grown my business. I've lived setting up automation systems. So those are the 3 main things that I help people with. And the 8 pillars that are in my program, they're all things I've done myself. So it's so important that people can trust your way of doing things. For example, some business coaches are teaching only do Facebook ads. Other people are teaching only do organic. So can this person really trust your method? So your credibility, meaning your trustworthiness. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish those. Your trustworthiness, your experience, and your skills. How much experience have you got in helping the person achieve what you promised to help them achieve? Because if you don't have a strong promise and a strong result that you're helping them with, then you'll get lost in the crowd and your content won't convert because you're being too vague. This is one of the key things that I help 80% of my clients. The problem in their content is they're being way too vague. They're not being specific enough. Being specific requires courage, it requires boldness, and it also requires you to actually have experience in achieving that result. So that's number 1, is trust. Now I just want to touch on a couple of other things, actually three other things in trust. You can see this is a really big one. there are three things. Number one is social proof. So you can show trust through your content with social proof. You can feed in stories, testimonials, case studies. It doesn't have to be, here's a testimonial. It can just come naturally through your content. You know, you're talking about a subject and then you might say, for example, my client Jen, she recently did a webinar. She made over $12,000 and that's just what I start adding to my content. The other day I had a client who I helped go from a CEO of his company to actually leaving his business, leaving his job and starting his own business. And the other day we had a whole call on the mindset of going from 9 to 5 mindset to entrepreneur mentality. And so that's just a story that I've been sharing in some of my groups lately. So social proof, massive. Your social circle. Who else is attracted to you? Who is in your social circle? Who do you attract? What's your community like? Is your community Facebook group, for example, full of people complaining or pitching, or do you attract people that are toxic, you know? Because often we have to really look at like our standards. Who am I allowing to spend time with me in close proximity? Last night I went to my friend Lisa Jane. Her business is 1 year old, so she had a celebration and she also had this beautiful networking event online, and I turned up. I had a full day of clients and before and after, but I turned up because I knew that she would attract great people. We talk about social capital all the time because I knew that whoever came to her networking event would be awesome people, because that's who is attracted to her. And so that builds trust as well. Yeah. And then the third one is social experience. So are you living it? Do you have that lived, embodied experience? Are you being an example of possibilities? I see coaches, like health coaches, who are overweight or who have some really bad habits, and like we all do, right? But are we consistently upping our game and setting our standards higher, and not just teaching theory, not just parroting? And I'd love to know what you think of this. Like, would you rather work with someone who has lived it and embodies it and does it themselves? Or are you quite happy just learning theory from someone who's learned a cool technique and just teaches the steps? You know, so I'd love to hear from you guys if you've had experience in this, if you've noticed this for your own investment. So that's trust. I spent the most time on that one because it's the most important one. Number 2 ingredient is curiosity. And I've spoken about this before on previous trainings because it's such a powerful ingredient to converting content. Curiosity opens up a desire. It's the difference between this nice to read or nice to watch and I must watch it. I need to watch it. I don't care how busy I am. They have got me. Curiosity is that thing when you're watching a Netflix show and you're like, right, I'm only going to watch one and then I'm going to go to bed and turn my light out at 10:30. This is my journey at the moment. And I'll watch something and then they leave this massive open loop. And your brain is like, I need to close that loop. And then the little thing comes along and it's like, watch new episode. And you're like, I set this new goal for quarter 3 that I want to go to bed early, and then it's like that temptation. That is curiosity. And we can do this by teaching them something they didn't know and then showing them what they don't know. So we teach them something they didn't know, and then we also show them there's more that you actually didn't know. And so this shifts their perception and makes them want more. So the curiosity, it's not that we just try and be elusive. We try and be vague. We try and like dangle this carrot and then disappear and say, hey, contact me if you want more information. It's not that. We need to be clear. We need to be transparent. But there's only so much we can put in a post or a video, right? So we teach as much value as we can, but we also open up this loop of curiosity where they want to know more because they've just had this epiphany where, oh, I haven't heard that before. There must be more to that. And they realize that you do something different from what they're used to. or from what they've heard before, or you say it in a way that's slightly different and it lands, right? So this takes crafting. When you craft your content, you take time to craft it. You don't just chuck out stuff for posting's sake. You don't just say, oh, I haven't posted this week, I'll just put this photo of me walking and some quote, This, it's better to have quality than quantity. It's better to actually post less, but actually create a shift in someone's perception and open up that curiosity. That is what gets engagement. That's what makes people want more. That's what makes people private message me after I share a video, after I share a piece of content, and I say, hey, DM me, and I've laid it out and I've been quite clear in terms of, like, I haven't held back, I'm transparent, but there's also so much more to know. And so curiosity is a really cool ingredient to include in your content. If you just take that and apply it, that can be a game changer in your content. And then the third thing I recommend that every piece of content has is a call to action. I recommend that all of your content inspires some form of action. You might do this overtly or covertly. So it's not that every single one of my posts says DM me or click on the link in my bio. Some posts pose a question, but there's, through the post, I'm getting them to shift in order to take action. If you think about it, what's the point of content otherwise? Otherwise, it's just information. People are gathering information. If they don't do something with it, what's the point? What's the point of crafting that beautiful post for them to go, oh, that's interesting, that's nice? You want your content to inspire someone to take action. And that action might be very, very small, but it's one step closer. Not everyone who reads your content is ready to talk to you, is ready to invest in you. Some people wait 6 months and then they contact me. I've had people sit on my email list for a year and they haven't been ready, and then they've contacted me. Now's the time. And so every time I put out content, it doesn't mean I put out content, I get a client. But I consistently put out content, I consistently get clients. Because there's stages of the buyer's journey that people go through. Trusting you, being aware of the problem, being aware of the cause of the problem, being aware of the solution, being aware of how you provide the solution. And people go on their journey. Some people do it quickly, some people take it longer. But when you sit down to create that content post, start with the action you want them to take. And get the benefit of this, a major benefit of this, is people get used to you inspiring action. They get used to you popping up in their feed and going, oh, I'm going to read that because Kat inspires me to take action. Or that video, I'm always going to learn something that's going to help me take an action, not just learn information. Often people need to be clearly told what to do as well. So if you're just posting inspo and you're not saying, hey, do this, take this action, often people won't take any action. So you want to be clear in your call to action. And you can consistently make little offers, but it's not seen as salesy when you do it in the right way, because the next step is not something paid and you provided value. So if you are concerned that your content's going to come across as pushy, then make sure you're always providing massive value so that people don't view it like that. And there's a sweet spot between giving, and then making an offer. I don't view making an offer as asking, because I view it as actually another gift, because the right people, I know that I so help my clients that I'm giving them a gift. They make their money back so fast if they apply what I teach them. So I don't think of it as an ask. I know there's that whole Gary Vee thing, like give, ask. But I don't really think of it like that. I think of it as it's all giving, because when I work with people, I give them so much value and I help them make their money back as quick as possible. In fact, most people make their money back so fast, and then everything else is profit. So to me, it's not an ask. It's actually like they've won a prize. That's how I view it. And if you're proud of your offer and you've really created it in a way that you know gets results, then you want to share it with the world. You want to make offers. I'm not saying push it out all the time. There's a lot of posts that have other purposes, like building trust, like building rapport, building connection. Not all of them are, hey, take that next step with me. but all of them are planting seeds in their mind so that when they're ready, then you've broken down those beliefs that are holding them back from actually investing in themselves. And I do this in a way that's totally detached from the outcome. Just knowing I'm showing up consistently and giving value and consistently having clients is enough. I don't kind of have to track, all the analytics and all of that. I don't even look at that. I just trust that the right people come when they're ready. And so I've got a favor to ask. If you've gotten any value from what I've shared with you at any time, anywhere, whether it's on these videos, through an email, through a social media post, I'd really appreciate if you just write a yes in the comments right now. If I've shared value with you any time where I've just given and not asked for anything back, just pop a yes in the comments box. And if you do want to work together, there's a few things that I help people with. What I do with my one-on-one clients is I help you make sure that your offer is really irresistible so that you are so proud of it and you know it's going to get really great results for people. So I help my clients get really clear on the best packaging, the best pricing for your stage in business and for the stage that your ideal clients are at. I help you clarify your language, the beliefs that your ideal clients have, and how to use your content to help them change those perceptions, and how you'll talk about it in a way that the right people can see what's in it for them. I help you create compelling content that converts the right people with this proven process. So these are 3 of the ingredients. I've got a whole formula and then a structure of how to actually do it, to call in your ideal clients, truly quality clients. And if you want to take that next step, if you want to be the best candidate to get results, you need experience serving clients in your area of expertise and getting results. So I'm much better working with people that have a bit of an idea of the problem you solve and who you enjoy helping the most. If you're not sure if you meet those qualifications, just message me, just DM me, and we'll chat through it. And I can tell with a few questions whether it's the right fit for you or not. And if it is, I'll share with you the details for you to get started. So just drop me a DM if you're interested, and I look forward to chatting with you. But otherwise, I hope that those 3 ingredients has really helped you. If you unpack what's underneath them and include them in all of your content, you can start getting more engagement, more followers, and most importantly, more quality clients working with you. So drop a hashtag replay in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. Otherwise, let me know what you thought. Post any questions in the comments, and I will look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m, if not before. Keep shining and take care. Bye, guys.